as Marcus did defensively in the second half?
I probably can't remember one off the top of my head. Surely it's happened before, but we had a kid at Tulsa there, Coley, that was pretty special in that. But I thought for a stretch yesterday, or not yesterday, when was it? When
Wednesday.
we played Wednesday. I thought for a stretch, I thought that Marcus had dominated that game as much as anybody possibly could without scoring the ball. I mean, it was unbelievable to watch him defensively totally control everything.
He said him and Ochai and Devon have a little friendly competition about steals, who can get more, things like that. Have you seen them?
You know what? They're all actually pretty good. You know, Dot's actually got a few more than Marcus for the season, and Ochai's getting much better at it. He's still, I think, a little bit behind, but you know, if you play that many minutes and you're active, you should at least luck into some good stuff. But the thing that those three are doing right now is basically doing that, but they're also being pretty sound. They've done a good job individually on guarding their man for the most part all year long. But I do think it's been better of late.
It didn't sound like that's what they saw on film against OU the first time. Marcus was saying
You know
a lot
what?
of open shots.
That is true. I think the first time we guard them okay, but I think they also missed some good looks. And I didn't watch the film session with them yesterday. This will be the first time I've seen them since the game because I was out yesterday. But I think that's a pretty accurate assessment.
Oklahoma had lost 4 of 6. Now I think they've won 3 of 4. What do you see on tape? Why do you see the uptick?
Well, I think Doolittle's such a key that when he goes well, then they're awfully hard to defend. Manning's been consistently good all year long. You know, Reeves obviously can score the ball, and others can as well. But Doolittle's the one guy that, how do you guard him? You know, the one guy that as much as anybody is, put a big on him, takes you away, and you put a small guy on him and try to post him. I mean, he's probably about as versatile as anybody that our league has offensively.
How is Devon's health?
I think he's fine. You know, like I said, I had talked to him since Wednesday. Wednesday after the game, he was in good spirits. I was really proud of him. I thought he hung in there. You know, obviously I didn't want him the whole time. I only played him 37 instead of 40. But I thought that he was. I thought he was good based on the reports I've got. He hadn't had any setbacks.
What do you see the role of rebounding against OU? Either end.
Well, I mean, it's a game in which we should be a lot better rebounding the ball than what we showed against Baylor and against West Virginia. You know, the two best rebounding teams in our league that we would go against controlled the glass basically all 3 times that we played them so far. Other than that, we've actually been pretty good rebounding the ball. People will look at Doak and say, well, they're huge. No, this is about as small as you can possibly play. So we got to be a little scrappier. But winning a battle on the boards is not good enough. Just like I think Mom would say that. We need to become more dominant, more convincing in that area than what we have.
What did you make of the way West Virginia guarded Devon out of the perimeter? It seemed like they were giving him a lot of space to shoot.
Yeah, they did. But you got to understand something. Devon hadn't put on a uniform or hadn't put on shoes since what was it, Saturday. So you know, we didn't say anything about it. So I do think I welcome the guard, but it was a bad day to guard him that way because he had asked me over, especially the first man.
Coach, every road win's important, but when you in such a tight race, does Wednesday's game win mean a little bit more?
Well, yeah. Every road game is important, and they all add up the same. But I think that Wednesday's game, in the manner which we won, where we weren't very good offensively for the vast majority of the game, even though the last 10 minutes were pretty good. I think you know, gives some credibility that you don't have to play great to win as long as you lock in the guard.
That's back-to-back holding opponents to 40s on the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't heard, you know, I'm not going to give us credit yet that we're the best defensive league that we've been, because I think there's been some teams that are sounder than this one, but I do think statistically, if you look at it, you would think that it'd be hard pressed to say that anybody up until this stage is probably statistically guarded better than this team.
Bill, with Marcus going up there, can you explain the process, just how you decide who goes up there, what the process is?
There's not an exact deal on who goes up there, but if you're the MVP of a Final Four, you're the Big 12 Player of the Year, you're a lock, or you're a first-team All-American. So Marcus was a lock as soon as he was named, Big 12 Player of the Year. Now there could be some scenarios that nobody may fit those criteria, but 2 years as a second or third team All-American, stuff like that. That's still pretty impressive. But it's more of us discussing in the real thing what their value meant to the school and to our program during the time in which they were here, and certainly you could make a strong case that if this was a Hall of Fame, he'd be a first ballot guy without question.
Where are you at with like midweek rest and that portion of your schedule and season with this group?
I would say that I actually think we're okay. Now, I would say let's just get through Monday. And I'm not talking about win Saturday, win Monday. I'm not saying that just from a fatigue standpoint, because to me it looks like then the break occurs where you can actually catch your breath. Wednesday at West Virginia, get home at 2:30. Saturday, 11 a.m. And then Monday on a short deal. I mean, you can obviously make a case for us and anybody else that played on Wednesday, West Virginia. It's one thing to play Wednesday, Saturday, but Wednesday, Saturday, Monday is a little bit different. Like if we played, Saturday, Monday, Saturday, Wednesday, there's enough space, but Wednesday on the road at West Virginia, 11 a.m. Saturday, and then turn around and play Monday. That's about as hard or as tiring as what our league schedule can offer.
Are you happy with Moss?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I? Yeah. I think he's a great kid, and I was happy with his play too. So the last 2 games, I was just told that because I was reminded that we made 4 threes, I believe, the last 2 games total in each game. He's made 6 of them, 3 of the 4. So yeah, I mean it's ridiculously poor how we shot the ball beyond the arc, but also you can look at it, but thank goodness this is better.
Is it needless to say he's a green light guy all the time?
Yeah, well, he has been the whole year. If he's open, he's supposed to shoot it, and he's the one guy that would have it more than anybody else on our team.
Do you think he understands that?
I actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do. It's certainly based on practice. Every time he touches it, it seems like it's something else. So I do think that he understands that. I also believe he can become a better post feeder. Guys are going to guard him. He should be able to get the ball to go. And that's just something that we kept done a poor job of that all year long. We've got to somehow get better the last quarter of the season.
Isaiah said he had the most fun after the game.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I thought he was really excited. I think he's helped us win some games, but I think deep in his core he knew that he was responsible, playing a huge role in us winning that game the other day in a hard game. So it's one thing to go out and make shots if you win by 20. I mean, in a hard game that you needed to ever won, I thought he felt really good about himself, which was good to see because he's been terrific attitude since he's been here.
Do you think you'd ever open with him again?
Yeah, I do, Gary. I think that there's a good chance that could occur, but I'm not going to. I haven't talked to our team since Wednesday, so let me get to practice.
Go ahead.
A lot of top recruits nationally may miss the NCAA tournament, and this season has seemed to be more about the veterans. Do you think that's a good trend for college basketball and interest in the tournament?
That's a good question. I think. I don't know, but I still think the way our world markets people, they still market individuals in large part. Like Duke was a big part of it last year, but we marketed Zion. And there's been other things that it's good to have those players that are highly marketable. But you look at Frank and Devontae compared to Trae Young. or compared to some of the freshmen out there, you're not going to have upperclassmen get that type of attention or look at the kid from Dayton, Obi Toppin. He's got a ton of attention, but not like some of those other guys we got. So I think we need both, to be honest with you. I think individual players help promote the sport, and then the best teams help promote the sport as well. I think we need both.
The last time we talked to Christian, he was talking about teams guarding him differently after he got hot there for a little stretch, running him off the line. What do you want to see from him adjusting to that idea?
Well, I think he needs to be a good shooter for us, and I think he is. But, one reason why we hadn't made a lot of threes is he hadn't shot it. I mean, it's not like he shot 40. He hadn't shot it. What's he shot, like one the last 3 games or something like that? So it's hard to have a sample size big enough. So we talked about that. People are going to guard you differently, right? You got to figure out a way to play, and the way we play isn't always conducive to a guy like Christian or Isaiah coming down and we're just going to run a play to get them a shot. Because the way we play is playing downhill and trying to open up as many driving lanes as possible. So we probably could do a better job of doing both. But I think that he should be more of a recipient from others right now. And you can look at it different ways. Well, he's not getting as many looks. Well, maybe that's because they're pressing out on him. Well, if they're pressing out on him, that opens up more lanes to drive. So, he can be effective and still yet not shooting the ball.